Welcome back to my part two of the Untold Stories After High School. Yeah, so what I can start by saying is sometimes I think help doesn't come from our family members or even best friends or relatives. Sometimes it can even come from strangers, even without you speaking. People that you don't even expect, people you have never met, even you don't know about them. So in my darkest season, when I had just given up, just when I felt, things felt unbearable, God sent someone I will never forget. I now call her my destiny helper, but number one. May her soul rest in peace. How I wish she waited for me at least to get my first salary. So if you watched my previous video, you know that I went through living in a home where I was treated more like a worker. It started well, but I was treated more like a worker than a student. Where I was hungry, I was tired, I slept tired, but always in silence and with a lot of kindness and humbleness. Most of the times I used to cry. But what I didn't tell you is that even in that pain, something happened that changed my life. And this is the destiny helper that I'm about to share. Yes. But just before then, before I talk about my destiny helper, remember I was doing now the house chores on a daily basis. I told you that she stopped now bringing the nannies, the house managers, and I was made now the house manager, of which for me working was okay. Remember I was from the village, and even if I was paying, me staying there, it was okay. If only I could be treated like a child, okay, like a human being with the kindness, with a lot of respect. So there are things that got beyond work. Like, for example, it hurt me most when I was being forced, to do the personal items, things that I call them sensitive, private. Imagine washing clothes that have stains. Imagine washing those personal items like handkerchiefs. Those were the times that we had petticoats, we had the bikers, and what have you. Those things made me deeply uncomfortable. I felt my dignity was being taken away slowly. And for me, I had come from a Catholic school. By the way, my high school, I didn't through a private school, which is a Catholic school. One day I will speak about my high school journey. And that I remember I've said that I felt my dignity was being taken away. So one day, for me, I decided now I can do this. I cannot do this anymore. So every time she brought those personal items, I used to take like a small bucket. I would put some water and omo, and then from there I would soak them for her. But I never used to tell her. I think they ran out of their handkerchiefs, and she came to me. She started speaking to me, but she was not able to see the handkerchief. She doesn't know where I'm taking them. And I remember I opened the bathroom for her, and I told her, your handkerchiefs, they're in that bucket. They're soaked in that bucket. That is the day I decided to speak out. And I spoke up. So I told her respectively that I was not comfortable washing some of those items. And when now things became, worse, and she realized, oh, I couldn't speak out. Do you know what she did? She went to her close friends who were the neighbors, and she started spreading the rumors that, yes, I am very hardworking, but my methodology of washing clothes, she feels that I'm not washing them well. They are not cleaned properly. That clothes, I was like, oh my God. I used to clean them so well. I would fold them. I would iron them and then fold them. It hurt me deeply because I knew I was doing my best, by the way. And you can imagine finishing everything, and then I would study at night. So and then I would sleep at midnight, and at 3 a.m., remember I told you at 3 a.m., I would wake up to liturgical. So one day, let me tell you now how I met my destiny helper, because I think at the beginning of this story, I talked about it slowly. So one day, I think our lecturer was busy or something, or maybe they had a meeting. So we were released quite early. We were given a lot of homework, but we assignment, and then we were released quite early, just before lunch. I had nowhere to go. Remember, you people, I told you that I didn't know Nairobi. Yeah, I had no house key. We used to meet at 5 p.m. She would open the key, and then from there, I would get in and start working hurriedly. Yeah, so I just went and sat down outside our house. Yeah, waiting. I was hungry, I was tired, and I was thinking about my life. I was in deep thought. Yeah, I could imagine how my mom would take all the meals. I could imagine how life at home was good. But again, I thought of if I had stayed at home, I wouldn't have gone to school I wouldn't have, continued with my school. I needed that career. Remember them days we were looking at the careers so that you can at least get employed and get a job. My dear ones, that's the day when everything changed. I met my destiny helper. A neighbor saw me. I think she was going out to the dustbin or something, but she opened her door and she saw me. She looked at me. She didn't ignore me. Imagine. She didn't ask me, by the way, any questions. Later is when down she started opening up to me, and she told me that in that house I have tried actually over staying there, and I think it's because I was a family member. She told me that she has seen over 30 house managers coming and leaving, and most of them actually they are not never paying the first 1 month salary, because they leave within 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So she told me, actually you are really trying. Then she told me, just come to my house. I knocked the door and got in. That was the first day I ate full balanced diet. She served a very sumptuous meal for me. I remember it was rice, beef, and some vegetables. I couldn't believe. It may sound normal to you, and even to me right now. But that time, to me, it was everything. It was my first proper lunch in a very long time, because I had overstayed and stayed for for several months. Yeah. So let me say it was my first sumptuous lunch in a long time, because the first lunch maybe I had taken it at home. I remember asking her, is this really mine? And she was like, yes. She had that nice smile. It's yours. That's the day I felt seen. I felt human again. You know, I felt treated. I met someone kind, someone nice. That's the day I think I found a smile also. From that day on, she changed my life. So this is my new routine of kindness. She told me, my dear one, just be coming. Every time once they leave for school, just be coming to my house. You have breakfast. And then from there, once you're released for lunch, rush to my house, come. You'll be taking lunch. And then from there, in the evening, once you are done with the classes, when you have classes for evening, for afternoon, becoming between maybe 3 to 4 or 4 to 5, because the boss of the house used to arrive around 5, between 5 to 5:30. And I used to eat very well from Monday to Friday. They became my best days. And then I would survive on Saturdays and Sundays. But between Monday to Friday, they were my best days. Yes. Let me take you back now to my first breakfast. Oh, there were samosas, there were some sausages. You would choose whichever protein you want to take. Yeah, and the accompaniment. And then there was some tea there. Oh my God, I just took it with full of love. You see, when you are served with a lot of love. Maybe for you right now, as you watch, my dear fans, you find maybe you feel it's something simple, but I felt love. For me, it was very big. Can you imagine someone somewhere whom you don't know chose kindness? Yeah. And she started appreciating me, talking to me. She mentored me. She made me feel appreciated. She talked to me, and I would feel, yes, let me work for this lady. She told me one day things will be well. During the holidays, I helped her in the business. Yeah. Not because I was forced, but because I was grateful. I was grateful for the things that she used, even staying in her house. I was grateful. The fact that she accepted me stay in her house, the fact that she gave me a bedroom, the fact that I was able to use her water, I was able to use her big power. I was grateful and I decided, it's okay. The moment she requested me, again, I was okay. Remember, I told you that even in the business, the workers used to leave. Yes, so there was something, there was a problem somewhere. So it was that time near December and it was time to go home. I remember I was taken home and I remember the man of the house called me and he was like, I've given out some money for you. You'll be given by Mama so and so. Yes, to appreciate you. I may not be able to pay you, but to appreciate you. And also, I told him, thank you. So, surprisingly, whatever was quoted is not what was given to me. So she came later when we were going to the car and she gave me she handed over 2,000 shillings. Actually, she waited until when we were the two of us and the others had left. She gave me 2,000 shillings, and she told me that was her appreciating me and all that. I didn't tell her that I had been promised and I had been told that there is amount of money that she had been given to pass to me. So what I told her, thank you so much. And I was not working for her to pay me, but I was working for free for the good she has done for me. I appreciated her even for staying with me for that 1 year. She still insisted, but I was like, no, I'm okay. And I left. I didn't want to take anyone's money. Yeah. I felt, let me just live, without receiving anything because I felt, why would she take, some part of the money and give me something little, you know? So, anyway, it may be to people, maybe some of you feel like probably I would have taken it, but for me, I felt, let me just appreciate and leave. So I remember I told you that I had planned something. I had planned to go back to my destiny helper once I get my first job, at least to surprise her. But I had promised to surprise her with a lot of, you know, a lot of shopping, and also I would buy like at least something for her to say thank you, for her to be seen, at least to say thank you now that at least I got a job. I wanted to say thank you in a big way, but remember we lost her and I never got a chance to meet her. I've been asking the way about the son. That moment he was a very little boy. I may not even be able to recognize him. But again, I'm not able to trace him. So once again, may I so rest in peace. So one day, just the other day, a few years ago anyway, like 5 years ago, I met this lady who is my relative whom I was staying in her house. We met in our hometown, back in our hometown. And actually I parked somewhere near her and I greeted her. She acted weird. She was so surprised. I think she never expected that, things would turn out well for me. I could see her eyes, the regret, the way she spoke to me, things had changed. And in that moment, I realized something, yeah? I realized that life has a way of coming in full circle. Yeah, so for now, that's my part two. If I may share part three one day, Yeah, because I believe we have a lot of learning lessons or powerful lessons from my stories, from this story of how I was threatened. But my dear ones, my parting shot is, let's be kind. You never know what someone is going through. So let's be kind to everyone, no matter what. And then never misuse any position that is, over someone. No? Never misuse it. Then, even those small kindness that you do to people can change someone's entire life. It can make someone smile. It can bring a smile to someone. You never know. Another thing I have learned is not every situation is your final destination. Like how I was then is not where I am now. And then finally, what I can say is that God can send helper from unexpected places, even someone who doesn't know. God can send a destiny helper who will change your life or even bring a smile to you. And the most importantly, never lose your humanity, never lose never lose hope in whatever you do. So thank you so much for watching. And if my story has touched you, let it remind you to be kind, because one day, you might be someone's destiny helper, just like I got one. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this message. Maybe someone may need it. Bye and God bless you.